not being a good role model. And I like Nikki because she's successful, but no different than so many of the other minstrels that have come before her. And when you see a young lady who doesn't have true knowledge of herself, do you think that we should allow our kids to be dumbed down and
No.
it's happening? So how do we stop it?
Um, I
So
think,
many people look at money as being success.
and
And
it's not
money is
it.
not success. Success and wealth comes from within and knowing thyself. But so many people are just letting their kids be programmed by these individuals. How do we stop that?
I think a big part of it is communicating with them, like talking with them about the importance of self love, of loving who you are, not what others think you are or what you think that you should be, but actually being comfortable with who you are yourself. So, I think that's a very big part of it. As far as again, I do believe that the media plays a big part in it, and so you can't protect them from everything. But I think if you talk to them, like the earlier the man was saying, if you talk to them about what it is they're viewing or that they're listening to, I believe that's important as well as like speaking the power over people. I've really been just paying attention to that, and I work with a lot of young people, and they're always being like, "Oh, you stupid." That's the favorite phrase right there, and I'm just like, "What does that mean?" You know? And then I listen to the rest of the conversation, and in the back of my mind, it might seem wrong, but I'm kind of thinking, well, that is kind of stupid. But I kind of feel like they speaking it, you
Yeah,
know.
they're speaking
And
that into
everything is supposed to
existence.
be dumb or retarded or,
I
and
mean,
I don't approve all of that.
but all of that has been a strategically designed plan by hidden hand. The things that they are feeding them spiritually have been things to dumb them down, have been things to take their mind off of education, has been things to disconnect them from their roots. And any tree that is cut off from its roots will surely die, and any people that is cut off from their roots will surely die. So that's why we're the most dying people on earth because we have been cut off from our actually roots. We don't want to talk about the suffering that happened with us, not 100 years ago, 40 years ago. We don't want to talk about Jim Crow. We don't want to talk about the civil rights. And there are individuals that sit down and they ostracize you for even bringing those things up. You can't bring those up without someone calling you a racist or a hater. I'd be damned if I don't talk about the suffering that my people went through going to DH homes, getting spit on, and being segregated right here in the hell of Baton Rouge. Not anywhere else, right here in Baton Rouge. Baton Rouge has been one hell of a place when it came down to racism. The bus boycott that started here in Baton Rouge because they were getting treated unfair. And then, as a people, we have always let others dictate to us how we should run our civil rights or we should run our issues when it came down to
Right.
civil rights. So many people are misled over the situation with Miss Rosa Parks. She played a very important role in the bus boycott, but she was not the first woman who refused to give up her seat. That
Right.
was done by another woman whose skin wasn't fair enough to become the national poster child for the civil rights movement. So we have always, and that's why I do what I do today in hopes of showing them individuals that damn right you got a darky on the scene today that's opening his mouth. This doggy is not afraid to talk about what needs to be talked about. And so many people just can't deal with that. You know, oh man, wait a minute, he's too harsh. And I'm not a racist because I don't hold anything against someone because of their race. That's beneath me. That's for ignorant people. I hold people accountable for their actions. And unfortunately, we still have some people with the same type of actions that we have seen for the past 40 years, but we don't want to talk about that because we're afraid. We don't want to make people uncomfortable. I'm like, hey, if I ain't comfortable, why in the hell would I want to see you comfortable? If I ain't comfortable, I ain't gonna just let you sit back and go to sleep. Look, yo, wake up, wake your ass up too. Look, I can't sleep. We got, we got things to do. We got things to straighten out. We have work to do. And
Right.
until people realize that it's a serious job out here, doing these things, we'll never see the change that we want. And some people are just satisfied being able to run to back doors and get a little sack with some biscuits and chicken in it. Not me. And that's why so many. I mean, that's why so many of our pastors and leaders can't stand up because they've been to too many doggone back doors and walk away with greasy pockets and there ain't nothing but chicken and a biscuit in it. I want more than give me the whole damn house. I think I deserve it right about now because I'm doing what I got to do. But definitely, we have to deal with the issue of loving thyself, and I think that's important. I know I haven't always been there. You haven't always been there. How long did it take you to actually get to where you are right now in life?
I would say about 3 years, actually.
3 years?
Yeah, because I've always felt that there was something more that I needed to be doing. I've always questioned things, questioned myself, and so I had to get over the questions. I had to get over bitterness and just start to enjoy life as it is. And it's like now I can find something to be happy about, rejoice in every day. And I write out my blessings. I can't say I do it every day anymore, but I do it at least 2 or 3 times a week, where I just go through and write down all the things that I'm thankful for because I realize as I write these things down, the list continues to grow, because I've been blessed with a lot. I have gone through a lot, but I've also been blessed with those experiences, just to be able to say, hey, I made it through all of these obstacles and so on.
I think sometimes experience is the best when it comes down to correcting things. If you haven't been through anything, you really can't tell me how to come out of that.
Right.
Thing. So I always look for people that have experienced things to help me overcome some of the things that I'm dealing with right now. And I know it's not easy all the time because sometimes I'll be like, man, and sometimes I kind of like psych myself out. I'll be like, Lord, look, I ain't going through the storm, I'm coming out. And then I look up 3 days later and when the hell the storm
It's going to always be something else.
It's always going to be something else. It's just going to always be something else. But for young ladies, the little kids, how important, because they're not really seeing the proper role model in most cases. Some mothers bring men in like they bring in trash bags and take them out the same way. Before one is out, another one's inside. So how do we try to deal with that with women and having those issues? Because so many women have that issue right there. And most of the cases, I have to be honest, in some cases, these women are not even familiar with who they're bringing into their home. And we see young kids being molested, young ladies being raped. How do we get the mother to realize the state that she's in?
Wow, that's to me, I think it's like 2 answers to that question. I don't really give a lot of dating advice, but I would suggest that you definitely need to get to know that person. But I also think a lot of that women bringing men back and forth in and out goes right back to self-love, looking for that love from someone that you don't even know. That you'd be so willing to bring them into your house, into your family, and not know them at all. But I think everything with anything in life, you have to want it. So you actually have to want to be a better mother. I think that's a big part of it. Then you have to realize the things that you were doing wrong, because a lot of people don't, they just see it as just something that comes naturally and don't really take the time to see, hey, is this actually working out? Is my child actually behaving the way most children would? I think things along the lines of that. Mm-hmm. But I definitely can agree that there is a lot of that going on, especially if you look in the news with all the every day it seems like it's something else, and usually it's related to some random man that the woman has brought in. So.
In a lot of cases, we have to take more control over the kids. I mean, we have a world now where you have to go to work. Your little girl has to go home and be there until you get off from work. She's not going in and looking at a textbook. She's going in looking at television.
Right.
So here she sees all of these dancers and images of individuals with nude and sexuality contents, and she starts doing the same dances. And instead of you whooping her behind, you, not saying you, but mothers will come home and, hey, come show mama how Nikki tear that thing down, and a little bitty girl.
Oh, no, you definitely wouldn't want to encourage anything like that.
But I see it.
I
see it, and it's cute and it's laughable. But what we're doing is taking the virtuous spirit off of the little girl, so now she walks around like a little woman and some sick old man sitting across the street on the porch. Look at that little heifer. And as soon as he get a chance, because he's like a doggone buzzard. sitting around waiting on something to fall. And as soon as she falls victim, wanting a little extra candy money or a little extra money for some shoes, he fondles her and gives her the money, and then that leads to rape, or it leads to some type of sexual act, and the child is ruined for life. We have to protect our kids from that, and we definitely have to look at that as being real, because it really is real. And in so many cases, we have these young kids that are going out lying about their ages, and
Sure.
unfortunately, if someone lied to you, they lied to you. But you can get caught up in that game and someone being lied to you, and then you get in trouble for that. So we also have to protect our young men. That's something that they're doing right now with the University High football team, because they're individuals that has been getting in trouble down there playing that football, and getting in trouble, messing with them girls down there. So it's serious down there. So you definitely have to protect your kids and make sure that your kids are protected when they're out there. Looking at the condition of not just females, but looking at the black experience right now in the condition that we in. I walk in the store, and when I was younger, I had an old man told me something, and I was on top of my game then. I got out of my car, and he looked at me, he shook his head, he said, "Man, you make me ashamed to be black." I didn't know what he was talking about. I said, "Man, I ain't thinking about him." I'm looking at my car, I'm looking at me, I'm like, "Man, the hell with him." But here it is, it's 30 years later, and they got something that really makes me ashamed to be black. You walk into the store, a young man pants is almost to his knees. He's holding his pants up like he's holding a chain. Half of the time their underclothes are not clean. How does that make you feel?
Embarrassed.
Embarrassed.
Yeah, I understand totally what you mean.
And they're like zombies. Like they don't get it. They just walk around and just in the language that come out of their mouth. I'm like, golly. Not only are you scaring some of these white folks, bro, you scaring me.
Right, but you also have that feeling of being stereotyped along with that as well, though. This is all that's expected of you people, you know. So I understand that.
Yeah. I mean, I ain't gonna lie. Me and my son went riding on the boat the other day, and I had on some pants, and I left the belt. I left the belt at home, and I was like, dog. And I felt so uncomfortable because my pants kept sliding down. And then I walked in the store, and I was like, well, white folks ain't going to look at me no different because they figure this is where I'm supposed to look. So, but that's bad.
Yeah, we got a little rule for that, actually. My personal rule is that any man over 30 should be wearing a belt. That's just me. I don't know.
I mean, you should. You should. I mean, and it goes to show that individuals have not taken leadership role inside of their head. They look at what others are doing.
Right.
They see it on television. If Lil Wayne is doing it, it's cool. If any of the rappers are doing it, it's cool. And the followers is what we see. And it's like, is it a trend? What is it? Because it's definitely, it looks bad. You can't, it's no wording for it. There's definitely no wording for it. Sometimes I just pass through the neighborhoods and see dude, leaning inside the car. But I think I have to put the blame on y'all, the black women. Because y'all got the power. I know if I was dating a woman and she told me, look, I ain't going out with you no more if you don't pull your pants up. If I want to be with her, I'm going to pull my pants up. If you don't demand more, you won't get more.
Yeah, that's an excellent point. I just recently wrote an article kind of along the lines of that, but in there I was also stating like the way that we as women dress as well. You know, like maybe if we stop showing, the name of the article was like if we stop showing ours, then they'll stop showing theirs. So
what you did with it?
What did I do with it?
Yeah.
It's in Swagger Magazine. It's swagger.net. SWAGHER.net.
When you throw that up in it. Yeah, you should. Read that. So, you have one of your poems with you?
I did. I
want to hear you. Go ahead. I want to hear one of your poems because you write some very powerful stuff and some stuff that can wake up some women. But you're right. I ain't going to lie. Sometimes I'll be like, wow, we need to pull our pants up. Now, the sad part about it is that we see them sisters with their pants saying, we don't tell them put them up. Man, you seen that? So we got to get out of that. I mean, we got to get the filth out of our head, too, because this is a filthy world that we're living in. And I mean, we have lost our shame. I told people I have been a breeder of dogs most of my life, and pit bulls. And when the girl dog is coming in heat, we have to check her and make sure that she's ready for heat. And the dog gets embarrassed and takes her tail and cover herself up. And we have women that's walking around with their tail out. They lost their shame now. Ain't no shame in the game, and that's just bad. We have to change that. Go ahead. I want to hear your poem.
Okay, this is actually the one that I sent to you. I was just trying to think because I write a lot of silly pieces. I didn't want to get on the radio and read those.
What's a silly piece? No, you just heard something. That's stupid. What's silly? I don't think
Well,
there's no
I
silly
mean,
piece.
it's more when I'm more in a more comical vibe or something, you
okay,
know.
okay.
So today I'm being kind of serious. So this is my first time ever reading this aloud, and the name of it is I Guess I'm Pissed. For years I've wondered what's wrong with me. Turned countless times in aimless directions and still found no peace. Prayed to God but never saw his face. Followed the crowd and went no place. It always seemed like I'm in the same position. The struggle doesn't stop and bills come sooner than commission. Yet all I hear is pray and stay true to your religion. But I've always known something was missing. I am not like everyone else. I now realize that with knowledge of self. Yet with this knowledge only comes more pain. Smiles come in spells much like the rain. Because now I see the ignorance of us all. A few may come up, but most will continue to fall. How does one watch those they love die slow? Do they accept it and turn away, or does hope continue to grow? Intellects holler, I'm loving me, but don't know how. Fools holler, Negroes we free, but we still locked down. Thugs holler, the ratchet's for everybody but too blind to see that the ratchet's hollering, I'm just living with HIV. The black man claim I'm just planting seeds. The government screaming, we tired of providing your needs. Businesses crying, they want everything free. Dope man is saying it's hot in these streets. I'm just standing here watching, wondering where I fit in. I'm just tired of waking up tomorrow to watch all over again. If there is truly no life after death. Sorry.
But that's good. Let me go pay these bills.
Feel free.
I like that. And it's real. You know, it's so real. And that's why I was compelled to definitely bring her back so that you can hear the work that she does. She does awesome work. And you need to check out that Swag magazine. Swag magazine.
Swagger.net.
Swagger.net. Because she has some hot topics on there. I've checked out some of the things and definitely have some real it's like a blog thing. Yeah. Check that out because it definitely keeps me busy. I go through some of those things and link into other people's stuff and be like, wait a minute, man, it's 4:00 in the morning. Speaking of that, man, hey, gotta give a shout out to my man Jerry at Jerry's Car Wash. I'm gonna go pay these bills. I'll be right back, man. Cut him up.
Then with attorney Bobby Edmonds. If you got family court issues, she's here to help. Hey, Special K, I got the news you absolutely positively cannot use. It is so disrespectful.
And Bernice Jenkins got those church announcements. All this in one Monday.
On the Ricky Smiley Morning Show.
Follow us on Twitter, Max94ONE.